Welcome back, everybody. Today is the 5th week of HTML and CSS. And yeah, we will cover today a couple of new topics. Where is this one is our project folder, right? Yep. So usually we start by creating a new file. If you remember, a new folder. So let's create a week. 6, yes. And then right away we create index.html. And in a lazy way, you can just write HTML5 like this and enter. It will generate this for me. And today we will see more of maybe just to remind you what we had from last week, not this one, before that, what did we have actually? Let's see what we had by running this. As you can see, we have something like this. So this actually needs a kind of polishing. So we just stopped without doing much of the, let's see when it's 100%. So I will take this there and we will work on that. What did we learn from this? Just to remind you, we have a navigation, as you can see now, we are on the home page, we have an about page, we have a projects page, and we have contacts page. In the contacts page, we just put some kind of a form, as you can see, and this form handles any kind of data, as in a text, as in a number, email, as in date, and as in a radio button, as you can see here, and also select and the text message if we need, and also it handles file. At the bottom, we added also, as you can see, that on the footer part, social media links. Yeah, the social media links. We can continue. We can continue refactoring this code, but we will do that later. Before that, let's learn completely new topics. And to stop this, guys, whenever you want to stop this, because we just launch it, so you have to click on here. This, because it's running at port 5500, and when just click here, it stops. And then if you want to just to go live again or to launch it, you just click here again. We have it here again, yeah? But by just closing it like this, it doesn't mean you stopped the running server. You didn't actually. Yeah, as you can see now, maybe I can copy and show you. I closed it, but if I try to do, yeah, still it's running. So don't just do only this. You should also stop it from here. Now it stopped. Let's start today. We will learn a different kind of positioning. So I will write a note here, note.md. We will learn yes, positions, CSS positions. I'm just writing an outline, okay? CSS positions are relative, they are relative positions, there are absolute positions, there are static positions, and there are fixed position and sticky positions. So we will learn this in the first session, and after that we will start a new topic. What does that mean? I will show you by starting here. Now let's start maybe just creating some div. For instance, if I have divs in this div, I want to create another 4 divs. Maybe I can say div1, div2, div3, and div4. Yeah, so I have to launch this again. Have you seen my divs? Yeah, most probably you see them. So I want to put this in this side, and to see, by the way, to see the rectangles, or the boxes, because we said that every HTML elements are like a box. So to see that, let's add style here. If see div and border, if I add 2 border, 2 pixel and solid, maybe black, you may see some kind of, yeah, have you seen? So actually those divs are from left to right and it takes the whole waves, right? Yeah, but we can control them by changing their display property, by the way. We learned that already. But first, let's just change the widths. Maybe the width is too much, so I can say 250 pixel, yeah? As you can see, it is now shorter. And let's also give them a bit of height. How about if I give them also maybe 300 pixel, maybe, or 200, yeah, so it looks like this. But as you can see, there is one additional border here, because that's the border of the external. So I can call this class container, because this is a container. And for this, I will give them a kind of, maybe I can select this. That was not a good selection. Class, I call them a box, and I can just copy this box for all of them. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. As you can see now, you have a container. In your container, you have 4 boxes. So instead of calling by div, because the div selects everything, I can just call only the boxes, box. So as you can see now, the other border is not here anymore. Yeah, and div is a blocking element, so it is coming one after another. It doesn't allow other elements or, yeah, elements, HTML elements to come here. So if we want, we can change the display property, display inline block. As you can see now, it's like it comes one after another, Yes, yeah, give me some moment. I think some students are also joining us. I will open the door. Okay, so let's continue. Welcome back, new students. So now I just change it only the display property. Okay. Maybe we can also work on the font size. The font size is too small, so you can make it, for instance, 48 pixel and it will be bigger, right? Even for that, I can make it 60 pixel, yeah? How about if I want to make it at the center, text align center, right? Yeah, it looks good, but how can I make it vertically at the center? Yes, horizontally it's at the center, but vertically at the center, somewhere around here. Actually, if we use line height, the same line height, for instance, the height is 300 pixel. If the height and the line height is the same, then we can actually put it at the center, as you can see. Then we have, yeah, good. Okay, good. Now, how about if I want to give them a different color? This one may be blue, this one green, and this black, or any different color. How do I do that?
You need to give them each one a different name, and then by one do the same thing you did with all of them.
Yes. Yeah, so I can give them an ID. As he said, for instance, I can call this box 1 because it makes sense. It's a box 1. Or actually, I can give it a common class, I mean, a class, but specific for that. I can call it box 1. Oh, that's, then I can also, but you should separate it with a space. Then I don't have to write a separate ID. Then actually this part is responsible for all of them. It's a common name, but this part of the class is specific, and I can change it to 3 and 4. Do you get the idea, guys? So we can have multiple class. This one is act for all of. It's a common name, but this is a specific name. For instance, if I say box 1, that means I'm referring, and the color, maybe background color, and it's going to be blue or something. Yeah, we change it that. And if we want box 2, maybe we can change the background, the color to maybe black or maybe purple, something like that. Let's make it okay. Then if you want box 3 something else, background color, yellow, and box 4, background color, green. Yeah, now if I want to change the color of the text to white, where do I apply the style? All of them, all the color of all this. So here, right? Because it's common. Color white. And even if I want to make it still bigger, I can go, how about this 90 or 120 pixel? As you can see now, yes. As you can see, the border doesn't look good. So let's remove the border and let's make it borderless. Yeah, now it looks somehow like this. And if you remember how to make the sharp, the edge, to make it a bit rounded, we use border radius. So border radius. I forgot to add here semicolon. So border radius, and then I can put maybe 5 pixel. Then you can change the border radius step by step. For instance, this looks like a car, right? Yeah. It looks like a card, but as you can see, there's a small space between the cards. What do you add? Actually, we need a margin, right? This space to add some spacing. So I can add margin. So margin can be, if you remember, top, right, bottom, and left. This is how it goes. So if you add, for instance, here 100 pixel, that means you are putting 100 pixel to the top and any value. So we can give different. If you give, for instance, 10 pixel like this, you are giving 10 pixel to every direction. But you can also define a different size, margin size. But now, just to make it simple, I just gave 10 or maybe 3 every side, but that's small. For the time being, I can just go for 10. That's too big. Right. Maybe you may have a plan to make a circle. If you want to change this instead of a rectangle, if you want to change this a circle, change this border radius to maybe 50%, and that will change it to a circle. But as you can see, this doesn't actually looks like a circle. Really, it looks like an egg or eggs, or maybe like ellipse. The reason why, because the height and the widths are not the same. So if you have a plan to make, by the way, this looks like an egg for me. It's just, let's just change this to an egg. For instance, if you change the border, border, 1 pixel, solid gray. And if you comment this out, by the way, this is how we comment the CSS. We can comment this out for the time being. And yeah, this looks like X, right? And of course, the color again, let's make it black. Yeah, egg 1, egg 2, egg 4, but that's somehow silly. Let's just get back to our previous, and let's remove also this border. But how can we make it a circle? So we have to change this width to be equal with the height. So we have to change this to 300 or 215. The height and the width should be equal to get a circle, because from this to this and from this to this should be equal. The radius should be equal in all directions. Yeah. So by changing the border radius, you can get a circle. Yeah, but that's not our plan. Let's change it to just 5 pixel, and then it will get back to just this thing. Great. Now I want, for instance, if you want to play or to develop a card, just a different game, you may want all the cards to be on top of one. Yeah, how do you do that? You know, so far we're just doing like one after another. One is coming after, two is coming after 1, and 3, and then 4. But how about if we want all of the cards to be here on top of another? Actually, there is the so-called position in CSS. So this position allows us to decide. For instance, we can call it absolute, fixed, relative, static, or sticky. Static is by default, now it's static. By default, it's static, so it doesn't change. But actually, if I change it to a relative, I can change it to relative. Let me show you. Nothing happened. Okay, nothing happened. What does the relative do? The relative do is actually, it makes the container to move around. So it is not the place where we apply a relative. I will show you. So we have to target this, the container, dot container, and position relative. Okay, what do I mean? I have to show you the border. Maybe 2, 3 pixel solid red. Okay, and I will change this to like a C. The color, background color, some like this looks like more of a C color. Okay, and now imagine that you have a C and you have 4 boats. Do you see the boats? Of course, you don't see boats, but you see 4 rectangles. And let's imagine they are boats, okay? And you have the sea, and the sea is actually the big rectangle with the kind of this color. Do you see that? Yeah? Okay, I hope so. Now the plan is actually we have the sea and we can actually navigate the sea. We can move around left and right wherever we want. For instance, this boat can come here or anywhere. So, but of course now boat 1 is here, but at some point if it wants to move anywhere around, there should be a possibility to do that. And we can do that here. So to make this the external container to act like a C to allow other HTML elements to move around, so what we should do? Position relative. Okay, that's great. Then we should change the position of the children. The position of the children actually, can you tell me the children here? What are the children? No, the boxes are the children, yeah? The 4 boxes. So let's change position absolute. Oh, guys, something happened. When I just changed the position of this, but a good thing, we have to also give height for this one because then it doesn't shrink. Now, as you can see, it shrinked. So it's good to give height for the container. I can give height for the container. Maybe I can give it 500 pixel. Yeah. But where are the, and maybe I can also keep the widths full 100%, the widths 100%. That means it takes the whole viewport. But I have a question. We had 4 boxes, but now we see only 1 boxes. Where did they go? Yeah, because they are on top of another. Now their position is not anymore, it's absolute position, because since it's absolute position, all of them are here on top of another. So we can push them by using, for instance, let's keep box 1 there as it is, but let's push box 1 a bit, okay? If we push it, for instance, we can say left. If we say 300 pixel, Yep, have you seen? We pushed it out from there, but we can just push it a bit. We can say, okay, 300 pixel. Yeah, let's push it out. And we have to see, then the second one, we have to push it really with, this is 300 and this 300. We have to push it at least with 600 to see the yellow part. Okay, let's see. To the left, we can push it 600 pixels, and then you may most probably see it now. Now it's time to push this, the green, to the other side. So of course, since we've been pushing, adding by 300, so you may expect now we have to push it with 900 to see it. Left 900 pixel, and now as you can see, everything has been pushed. And yep, but actually it's not just pushing here. For instance, if I want this to come down over here, I can push it down. Okay, not only to the top. How about if I want from the top, I want to push it by maybe 300 pixel. Then it will come down, but the space will not be enough. As you can see, the space is not enough, so I have to give space for the container. The container should be at least maybe 650 pixel is good, just to, yeah, have you seen now? So it's up to me. Okay, do you think I can bring this here next to 4 here? Yeah, of course we can. So what we can do, we have to remove the number, the amount we pushed it to the left. So if we remove 300 from this, so it will be 600. Then it will come next to, yeah, it's here. Actually, then if we remove again additional 300, it will come to there. Yeah. So, but now, for instance, if I want 3 to come here, 1, 2, and 3 and 4 here, how do I do that? If I want 3 to come here. So 3 means this box. So one thing, we should put it to the bottom. So I have to say top 300 pixel. As you can see, it's go down. And then we have to remove all this. And then maybe if we just put 300, it vanished. Maybe we can just put left 0. Yeah, we don't need anything from this side. So now, yeah, we are rearranged them. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Actually, if you see the structure the way we write it here, it is not like that. But using CSS, we rearrange them. So CSS, it's not only just to put things one after another, even you have the possibility to rearrange them. Yeah, let's see. How is it going, guys?
Good.
Do you have any question? So the main important word, you have to change the container to relative position. After that, the children will be absolute. After you change the children to absolute, you can give them this left, bottom, top, right, those kind. Yeah. How about if we want this to be the other side? So what I can do actually, if I want this to be the other side, I change this, for instance, to, let's see, instead of left this, I can say right 0, right 0 pixel. Yeah, as you can see in the right with, and again, if I, this one also, let me see, I want this to go also to the right, then I can say instead right 0. And now I have to calculate how much to push this to the other side, this to come here. Or maybe you can add also this one, what I can do, for instance, for box, what box do I have here? Box 1, I can say right, about 300 pixel. And this one also, the green, not the green actually, the yellow, 300 pixel, right, 300. Now I have moved it. So how about if we want to put this to the center all together here at the center? Let's try. I think to do that, we can say margin auto. Okay, it didn't move them. Let me see. That doesn't. Okay. Because now we can't control it with a margin, but we can just push it in both sides. As you can see, to make this to at the center, what we can do, for instance, box 1 to the right, we have to push it maybe 600, yeah? Now it's here, so I have to push this to here also. Maybe instead of 600, even maybe we have to push it 900. Let me see how far it could be. This makes sense for me, 900, and then this has to be pushed by 600 to the right, 600. Now you can do the same. Box 3 will go to 900 and 4 go to 600. And then there might be some spaces, then you can divide. For instance, just now it doesn't look like at the center, but it's possible to move it to the center by adding additional container. We will do that in another lesson, that is actually flex. But I want to know if you understand what we are doing here. If you want adding the margin still, you can add a margin, by the way, between, as you can see, the margin is so small. How about if we add 25 pixel margin, but still it doesn't have, because this margin has been overridden by these properties, the right and top and bottom properties. So this, after that, what kind of properties do you have? I have to show you somewhere. So the properties you have actually, whenever you use, this is, you know, that's a comment in CSS. So we can say top. top means this from this. And if we say bottom, that means here, from here. So maybe just for you to understand, let's remove all the margin. Okay, can remove all the margin. Yeah, and I will show you step by step just by removing the box one, because it might not be. So now I have only one box. Yeah, maybe I have to put it. And where's the box? Yeah. Yeah, anyway. So it was hidden. Yeah, for some reason I have to make it like this for you to see it. Now, to make this box here, right here, maybe I can also remove the border radius, and it doesn't. Okay, now if I remove all this, have you seen? It's here. Now, if I want you to move it to the right by just, for instance, 10, let's do. To the right means you add from the right, from if you add something from the left, so you are pushing it to the right. So let's add 10 pixels and let's see how it looks like. Have you seen? We pushed it to the right. Okay, let's see by 100. Have you seen? You're pushing it. Yeah. So that's how it works. And then as you can see at the top, it's 0. Now let's add top. Top. Let's push it by 100 pixel or maybe 10 first, just to see. There's a gap now. And then let's add maybe 100 pixel and see. Oh yeah, that's quite a lot now. Okay, maybe if I want to just take it here in the other side, actually, I can say, come on, right. That's in the right, I want to push it by maybe 10 pixel, as you can see. But no, I don't need any, just I want to attach it to the right. Yeah, then I want to put it at the top. Then if I remove the 0, I mean the 100 and change it to 0, yeah. Okay, now I want this to be here. Then what you should do, instead of top, you change this to bottom. Oh yeah. Then now you got it. Then maybe you want this to come here. Then what you should do is actually, instead of right 0, you should change this to left 0, and the bottom will remain 0. Then if you see, it's there. So it's so easy. Now, I just showed you with one rectangle how to move. So the properties you use are top, bottom, right, and left. Those are the properties you use. Yeah. Is it clear? Just let me see. 1, that's our activation number. Yeah, type 1 if you got what we've been doing. Okay, I have a question. Do you know why we need to use a relative? Where do you use it? And why do we use it? Where do we use the position relative? And when do we like to use it? And again, why we need absolute position? Where do I apply it? Okay, now it's your turn to answer this. And then after that, we will have a 15 minutes break. Now I want, again, another rearrangement. I want 1 to be here, 3 to be here, 2 to be here, and 4 to be here. How do I do that? It will be so simple. 1, we just leave it as a default, even without adding anything. If I just remove, so 1 will go here. Yeah. So to take 2 here, what I should do to the right, it should be 0. Yeah, at the top, it should be 0. Yeah, 0 pixel or 0, you can just leave it now. Now what I'm left with, 3. I want 3 to be here. Okay, 3 is going to be at the bottom. It should be 0 bottom. I want it to be 0 pixel. And right, instead of right, I want to the left. I want it to be 0. And I don't need any bottom. Let's see. Yeah, it goes there. And now let's take this here. So how do we take that? So right, it's going to be 0. And the top, instead of top, I just want to say bottom. I change this to 0. And then you will, yes. And we don't need that border, the border rate, because it doesn't look good. And maybe if you want to add border radius for your card, border, did I destroy something? Let's see. Border radius for all of them. If you need, for instance, 15 pixel. Yes, so we have some, yeah, but if you don't want it to attach there, you can take some amount. For instance, instead of top to the 10, I can just give 10. Yeah, to the right, just 10 everywhere. So just 10, 10, no, then 10. Then we will have some spacing, as you can see. But we didn't apply anything for this one or 1. So it should be left to the left 10 pixel. And from the top, it should be 10 pixel. And we will have some kind of, what do you think? Did you get the concept? Okay, you might have been thinking to answer this question. I will help you. Where do we use the position relative? Okay, as you can see, we have a container, and this container is like a C. And now you see the sea is blue now, yeah? So the sea is so friendly, it allows the ships and the boats to travel around. And whenever you change the container position relative, it allows other boxes or other elements to move around. And then of course, we should change the position of these guys, the guys that, or the HTML elements that want to travel or move, their position should be absolute. And then we can use left, top, right, and bottom to just move this around. So I think we answered in short. Where do we use the position relative? To the container to allow that to make that HTML element to allow that HTML element other HTML elements move inside. Where do you use it? Yeah, in the container. Why you need absolute position? Because we should have an absolute position. This should have This now is an absolute position. This is also an absolute position. We chose, it's not a relative position, but we position it, we forced this to come here. Can we change the order? Yes, we can bring 1 here and take 4 here. We can decide. Where do we apply it? The absolute position, usually to the children. Yes. This had absolute position and this has a relative position. And when do we do this? All the time. If we do something like this, we should do a relative for the container and absolute for the children. And now let's have a 15 minutes break and yeah, see you after 15 minutes. Welcome back and let's continue. I have some open videos here. I have to turn off the, yes, so this is actually what we did using positioning. So with the power of positioning, you can move your HTML elements or boxes wherever you want. Yeah. But if you touch once positioning, everything will be like messy. So you should understand how it works very well, because you never know where your actually HTML element can go. Now I want to show you also something. For instance, if I just add additional thing over here, for instance, a div, can I create a div, for instance, 3 divs? Yeah, I can call this HTML, and then I can call this CSS, and I can call this what is JavaScript. Okay, now let's see what they are. Oh, as you can see, they are boxes and they are somewhere. Have you seen? Of course, they are following their natural order. Yeah. Let's apply the go away. I can apply this box, this class for them. But I call this one maybe box 4 or 5, or maybe I can box for the HTML, and I can go for this one, box for CSS, or as you can see, I can give it any name I want. As you can see, box.js. Yeah, and then I think I have additional just extra. The script was not written properly. I have to refresh it somehow. What is wrong with that? What's wrong here? And then what is this? Yeah, this is wrong. Sorry. Yeah, this is proper. It looks proper now, at least for my eyes. Oh, everything is a bit. Yeah, but I want to have another instead of box for web, and maybe I can call them web tech instead of just box. Web tech, a different name, and web tech. Yeah, so this web tech applies for these guys, and I may just go here for the web techs dot web tech means web technology. Can I give them width about 100 pixel and height, maybe just also 100 pixel, and background, some color, some gray color for the time being, and let's see. And all of them are there, as you can see there. How about if the position going to be, what do you think the position going to be? They are inside a relative, they are inside a relative container. So if we want to move those guys somewhere around, so it should be absolute, right? Yeah, by making them absolute, they are actually somehow on top of another. So, maybe I think I go to 100 pixel and 100 pixel. And maybe I think it's better to push this and push this. Yep. Now you can see them like a card. And let's put also line height. If we may, oh no, line height. And if I make it 100 pixel, it will be at the center. And text align. Center. And the font size, maybe 80 or 90 pixels. I want it to be bigger. Oh, that's too much for that. So I can go for 32 pixel maybe. It's good enough, yeah. And so as you can see, this, of course, if I make this a bit bigger, how about I want this, guys? How many boxes do we have here? I want to ask this question first. On top of each other, how many boxes do we have here? Oh, 3, because we had this, you remember? We have the HTML, we have the CSS, we have the JavaScript. So there's HTML, on top of that CSS, and then on top of the CSS, we have the JavaScript. Yeah, then let's just move them a bit. How do we move them? For instance, box, I think we can say box for JS. Did we do that like that? Let's see. Yeah, box JS something, yeah. For instance, if you move a bit, the like left 10 pixel. But all of them do have a kind of the same color, so it's hard to see box of HTML and the box of HTML background. I can go for some kind of orange. Box for CSS. Background color, I go for kind of a blue, but this kind of a blue. Okay. Do you see some color over there? Yeah, but for some reason we didn't see the color of the box HTML. Do we have some box HTML? And we should see box HTML color. And let me just make it a color of, actually this is the logo of the, but we don't see it. Do you know why? The reason is actually it's covered by, yeah, after we move all of them a bit, we can see. So box HTML is there and it's covered by the, now let's move this a bit to the left, 20 pixel. Yeah, now since I moved the CSS a bit to the left, I can see that. And if I move this one by 30 pixel, I may have a chance. Now, have you seen all the colors like this, the CSS, and this is the, no, this is the, what is that? The HTML, the CSS, and this is the JavaScript. I can make the JavaScript color a bit off. Background, I think I have to say this. Background color, color, some kind of yellow color, but actually it's not yellow, but something like kind of div. Yes. So we now let's just see. How about if I push all these guys to come here? The easy way to do that, actually wrap this all together with another div, like div another. Yes, wrapping them with another div, that would be easy. Let's see. Yeah, they are there still. Then we may have a name for this. I can call class name and the text. Text, that means technologies. And what I could say, for instance, dot text, I may say relative. Even I don't have to make it relative. Actually, text align, a center, and let's even with that. It didn't, that text center. I think I would give it a border, then I will see it where exactly it is. 2 pixel solid, just that kind of red will help me where my, yeah, as you can see, it is somewhere there, but it would be nice to give it a kind of some height. Then weights. Weights could be good if I give it about maybe 250 pixel and a height also about 150 pixel. So it's a container for these guys. Then how can I push this? Yeah, even maybe I have to use, let's see if the margin works for margin auto. It didn't work for, maybe we have to apply, let's see. Yeah, it should be here, margin, but yeah, margin auto works here, as you can see, but margin auto brought it at the center, but still I have to check the height, and line height should be similar to this one, the container, that is 650 pixel. It may be pixel. It didn't move that. Let's see again. Line height. No, it didn't move it. So in that case, we can just use positioning. So top from, instead, if we push it, for instance, 300 pixel to down. Yes, it didn't move down. Why? Because we didn't change the position of this. The position of this should be absolute to take this top to use. But again, since we change it to a position absolute, it doesn't recognize the auto anymore. So it's useless. So I have to use maybe the left. I have to push it about maybe 600 pixel, and it will be somewhere around in the middle. Maybe it's I can put about 200, maybe to the top, and it will be somehow in the middle. And I don't have to have this container. Yeah, have you seen now these guys? I just put them anyway. But I want to do more, like, for instance, I want this to be a bit up. So if you want that, you should do, for instance, I want this top, maybe 10 pixel. Have you seen now? There's a difference between and again top 10 pixel and top 30 pixel. Then there will be a difference between them. Now, as you can see, there is like we make it's like a card. But let's push them really far apart and then there will be a space, yeah? So from the left, it was only, from the left, we didn't push that, but this one, let's push it a bit, match 100. And then maybe this one, 150. And this one, oh, sorry, and 200. Yeah, so, but now as you can see, it's a bit too much for this, but at least this is like HTML, JavaScript and CSS. If we don't push it to the center, if we remove the text center, for instance, text align, if we remove this, the text will be visible. Yeah, but wait, I thought I removed the text align. We can say text align left because yeah, now as you can see, you see it, but it's pushed too much to the bottom. So let's just reduce that. I think it's by mistake. And I will remove the JS. As you can see, it's 250 is too much. Just a 30 is good enough. And this one is also 150 is somehow okay. But as you can see, I have to make it 200. And there will be space. Yeah, so it's now, as you can see, it's a kind of a card. So you can control everything. But now maybe, how about if I want to take this as in what is called under CSS. They call it background of CSS. I think we can change using index. I will show you. The order, as you can see now, the HTML is under CSS, and the CSS is actually under the JavaScript. For instance, I can bring actually the HTML before CSS, like, let's see. You can use index. If you use one, it's okay, but I can make this, for instance, by making the other negative. I can make index is equal to -1, but this one index 1. So actually this is greater index. Sorry, z index, not just index, z index. So the greater usually comes first. As you can see, now for some reason, but we should see it at least what happened. The z index, it vanishes, but it shouldn't be. But let me also apply z index for instance, if I apply just one for this, why it vanished? Let's see, maybe just 10, but for this smaller value, 5. I think that helped somehow. Just I gave a different value for the one I want to come first. For instance, I can give it 2. For the one that comes next, I can give it 1. So now the HTML should come first. And if I want the JavaScript to be behind the CSS, then maybe I can make this one 3, and this one too. And now the JavaScript should be behind. Have you seen? So you can change the order using the index. Now the importance is you can have the power to bring one in front and send the other back. That's the Z index. Yeah. Now, for instance, the JavaScript is really covered. It doesn't make sense. So the best order would be, I think we can just give it high value and it will come. Yeah. And now the CSS is really hidden. So we have to give it more value, the CSS, than this. So if I give it maybe 4, something greater than the HTML, now it came as it was somehow. And there is no padding, as you can see. We can add padding there. Padding, where is padding? If I add just 10 pixels and the padding will fix, then as you can see, yes, padding means this. Do you remember the CSS box model? CSS box model all the time. You have this. I have to repeat that again because I found it very important. Notation, I have to draw something. Yeah, very important. Yes, I can draw something again. Yes. Okay, and then I can draw something else, maybe with a different, but it's okay. So I can write some content here. Content. Yeah, this is the content of your can I increase the text size? Maybe, let's see. I think it seems that's the amount. So I ask you, based on the CSS box model, what is this? This, the border, right? This is the border, right? And this is the content, yeah, the content area. What is this area between the content and the border?
Padding.
Padding. This is padding. This is padding. So we have padding top, padding right, padding bottom, and padding left. And we have also border, border top, border right, border bottom, and border left. Yes. And then what is this, the external area, this area, what is this?
Margin.
Margin. So yeah, so margin, we call this CSS box model. It's a very important concept as in Java, a CSS developer or a web developer. This is very mandatory to understand. So all the time, whenever you see a CSS, an HTML element, it looks like actually a box, and that box should have a content, and it has a border, even though you don't put it a border. And maybe I have to demonstrate that also with just example. Yeah. I have to remove all the drawings, clear, or my drawings. Yeah. Now, why is okay? Great. If you see this, for instance, this it has. If you see the external, the HTML with a light blue background, it has different children, as you can see, but it's like a box. It has content, it has border, and it has margin, and it has some padding. Yeah. And also, if you see this is a padding from this to this, from this to this. It's a padding, and this is the border, and this area is the margin. Yeah. That's the concept of CSS box model. Maybe I can have also CSS box model, and I can show you again how it looks like. There's quite a lot of examples you may come across on the internet. As you can see now, the content is here. Let's imagine this is just an HTML element. So it has the content inside. That content has, as you can see, this is the padding, and this is the border, and this is the margin. Yeah, that's a very good demonstration. Yeah. So we have all the time the top, right, bottom, left. And this is also how we write the CSS. Yeah, when we write the CSS, if, for instance, if we say padding, and then we may say first the top, and then the right, and then the bottom, and then the left. This is how it goes. Long way. But you can write also only with two values, top and X, Y. That means if you write something like this, this value will go for top and bottom, and this value will go for right and left. Yeah, we can also write, we can also just write two values. So this is, it's not only for the padding, for any CSS property. We can write like this. For instance, if I say 10 pixel and 50 pixel, what it means actually, 10 pixel for top and bottom and 50 pixel for right and left. Yeah, this is what it means. Great, a very good concept that we have covered. Now let's cover other CSS parts. Yeah. Let's add some more stuff here. For instance, whenever we do a kind of a website, we write something like this, and then a header, right? And then inside the header, we may have, for instance, a title. Welcome to web development. And we may have also the main section, right? And even sometimes you may want to wrap this the div, because sometimes the div allows you to create a different section. Now I want to just take this inside one of the section here. And then you may need also the footer section, yeah? And footer, maybe div inside here, P, copy, right. It's not mandatory, but looks copy, and then 221. Now let's see what we have. So it should look like some kind of website, right? The copyright is here, and welcome to web development. Yeah. So we may add some more content. Maybe, for instance, we can start also with another section, and we may have a H1 and introduction, and maybe article, and then P, maybe lorem ipsum, and I can generate about 5 paragraphs. Now, for some reason, as you can see, it is not wrapping, so I think for some reason the wrapper is not on. I have to wrapper, wrap auto. I think it was auto is good, but why it didn't? Okay, it seems it's not wrapping. Wrap. Yeah, word wrap is off, as you can see. Let's turn it on, word wrap on, and it will be wrapped. Yeah, have you seen it's wrapped by itself, and it's really good. You don't have to go all the way to see the other side. Now, as you can see, we have some content on this website. So far, what position did we cover, guys? The position we cover, I may What is this, by the way, guys? What is this?
There is a comment that like you can, it's only for you to see, that doesn't show up in the website.
Yes, great. So we can leave here as the remark to make the code readable for you or for others. And now I'm using it just as a note, yeah, as a writing pad. I'm using it. So far we covered for instance, we covered static. By default, the position is static, and relative. And I told you to make this container act as in a sea or ocean, and other HTML elements move like a boat or a ship. Yeah, that's what it acts like. Absolute. The absolute actually makes it to be absolutely somewhere. For instance, this is absolutely here, and I can move it anywhere I want if the container is relative. Okay, what's left? Actually, what's left is fixed and sticky. Okay, what's fixed means? Fixed means something that doesn't move actually. Okay, let's see. For instance, now, do you see when I am scrolling up and down? You see the welcome to web development. Maybe let's add navigation for that. How do we add navigation? You know how to add by now navigation. You just use your L and list and maybe A, and then home. Maybe if we have home, then we can just write home. But we don't have the home page. We will create that later. We can duplicate this a couple of times and we change the name, and this is gonna be about, and you change this also to the file about.html. I forgot this and I have to add HTML. And here again, contact, and you will create, of course, the contact page later. But now we're about to create the navigation, and it should look like somehow like this. Yeah? Okay, great. Then maybe I think this is not a kind of a navigation you want. Maybe if you want to also continue, let's add more. And how about projects? And I can say projects. You may have the project page, and it should refer to also projects, and this is contacts, and this doesn't have HTML actually, and then contacts. Yeah, of course, just to learn again how to connect, let's see, we just create maybe about, okay, about.html. And then you just write something, but you don't have to rewrite actually. What you should do, copy the index page, Control S, copy, and then I will just paste it here. And what is common? Everything is common, but the difference is actually the main section. So I will remove the section inside the main section, and this is going to be about. And I can just do something here. It's all about me. Of course, you write something there. It is all about me. And then I can copy this and change it to, okay, a contact page. Contacts.html. And then I put this, and then here it just says contacts. Please contact me. Of course, you don't have to be so desperate. Yeah, please contact us. Yes, okay. Now, it should actually work. The homepage, yeah, for some reason, I don't know where I was working on. Okay, let's see how it looks like, because it doesn't say home. Instead, actually, it was index. So I should change it to index. It was a mistake. Then you have to change to every page. That's what if you're using JavaScript or other technology, you don't need to go to every page. You can change it from one place. Okay, now I think it should work. Let's see. Of course, yeah. Oh, okay. Home index and yes. Maybe I have to refresh it. Yeah, as you can see, it stays there. And the about page, and you don't have projects page yet. You have the contacts. Let's create the contacts actually. Okay, great. The projects, we don't have the projects, and we can create the projects from this page. Copy and projects.html. Yes, good. Then we don't have to go much, just projects. And what we need to change is actually just that all my projects can be found here. Yeah, and then you have the list of the projects you've been working on, right? No, but the problem, as you can see, is this how you write CSS? No, it's not. So you have to have a separate folder. And now let's create a folder. I call it actually assets. Assets. In my assets folder, I will have images and styles. And then here, I will have at least styles or CSS. Maybe I can call it CSS. And then there I can create styles.styles.css. Then I want to put everything I have. Then from here, as you can see, we've been writing this. Yeah, we just copy up to here. I cut it away. Neat. So this is, we can say this portfolio or a blog. Maybe you can call it a blog, and maybe this is specifically the contact page. Yeah, and then let's write the link actually. Link, and you go to the assets, you go to the CSS, and you go to styles.css. And then since I copied it, I can paste it here. Yeah. So now this will, and we have to also link to every page, every of the pages. We don't need this. And this one, for instance, what's the, I think this seems a blog, and maybe the projects, or you can change them in later, or portfolios. And again, let's change the about page. You don't need this. Instead, you need only a link, and the link goes here. And I call this one again blog, and it's about part. And actually, finally, we are here. Okay, then I can copy and paste, and I can say home, just blog, and that home. Okay, great. Now, if we look at it, it looks like something like this. Yeah, it's not bad, but we should work on styling. Let's start on the header part, okay? So maybe you want the header part. As you can see, it's better to start from the top. And do you remember this selector, guys? Do you remember this selector? It select everything. Border, let me show you. Border, 2 pixel, solid, red. And if you see now, everything is selected. So it allows us to select everything. Most of the time we use to remove the margin, the default margin the browser gives. You can say 0 pixel. And if you see now, yeah, as you can see, it starts from the very beginning at the top, and also there's no any space there. Yeah, yeah, as you can see, no space. And you can even remove the padding, the natural padding if you want, and it will be really tight. Yeah, it looks something like this. We removed everything what the browser give us by default. But after this, it's up to us to make it look good. And at the bottom, we have the footer. Okay, great. Then box sizing. This box sizing actually allows, it calculates the added margin, padding, and border, and it adjusts for you without much work. So I can say it border box. And this solved quite a lot of problem. Now let's work on this part, the header part. Okay. Of course, we have to also work on the body, but let's just jump that by doing that. Maybe just also to put something, for instance, background of color of the, for instance, let's just keep it something like that. And we have touched at least, but you don't have to. Then let's go to the header. Yeah. If you remember, we like this, that kind of a purple color. At least I can just keep it like that for the time being. And color white. Okay, but as you can see, there is no padding. Look at the beauty of padding. When you add, for instance, padding about 30 pixels in all direction, it just starts getting good, yeah? And of course, we can apply the same thing for the footer, comma, footer. Then the footer also will have something like this. Okay, but now actually it's really good to have a very good menu or navigation. So let's do that. If we go to our navigation, we can start by looking at how it looks like. It looks like actually a kind of class, we can give it nav, navigation, or menu, or whatsoever. And of course, we have the only unordered list. We can call it with UL. It doesn't matter. Yeah, even we can just call it with UL. Okay, then let's go and apply that. UL, I will show you the border. I think by adding border 5 pixels, solid, green or maybe orange is good for you to look at. Have you seen? This is the navigation area. Yeah, that's the unordered list. Then actually, we can also select the list by just writing, go to an ordered list and then the list. Instead, display inline block. Inline block, and we don't need this. As you can see now, there is inline block. And now, if you remember, if you go, we have a list. Inside the list, we have a anchor tag. So if we want to target that, because as you can see, it's hard to see this. If I want to change the font size or color, it's hard. So UL list and go to the A and the color red or whatsoever. Now I can change it, as you can see. Oh yeah. So why not? I can change it also to white. And font size, it can be changed to also to 28 pixel or some kind of a bigger pixel, but that's actually too much. Instead of 22, actually 22 or 20 pixel is good enough. Yes, and we don't like the line maybe. So since we don't like the line, text decoration, none. And then maybe we don't want also the border from here, but we can add some kind of background color, maybe some kind of a purple again, but we can change the opacity. Let me show you how we change the opacity. A, and then you can add 0 point whatever, 1, for it's a light color. So we are at, I think, why didn't you see? Maybe we can change it to a black, and then you will see, yeah. What's happening there? Okay, UL. Let's remove the background. I mean the border. Yeah, it's there actually. But as you see, there's no much padding, right? Since there's no much padding, it doesn't really feel good. So add padding. Maybe if you don't like to add padding, just only top and bottom, I can say, for instance, add top to bottom and 0 left and right. You can do something like this. And as you can see, but 0, as you can see, it's not good. So then instead, I can just add in all direction 10 pixel, and it might good okay. Yeah, but instead, we can even say text align center, text align center. I think this just put all of them at the center, or maybe even you don't have to do it here. If you put this actually here in the header and footer, everything will go there at the center. But still, this is closer, as you can see. Spacing is very important. So we can add margin here. Margin actually, I can give it a 10 pixel top and bottom, auto, left and right. Auto, it just adjusts itself. And now, as you can see, there is spacing, as you can see. Yeah, there is a spacing. The style we applied works for this because we select both the header and the footer. Maybe you may not, you may feel tired. So I think we have to have another 10 minutes break and we will come back. Welcome back. We've been refactoring and learning at the same time positioning of CSS property or positioning HTML elements using the position CSS property. Yeah, so we've been working on the header part, but as you can see, still now this what is this? I could say the navigation. There's no enough padding or maybe a margin in between. So let's add some space there. At least I want to add between the list. Let me show you what's add border all the time for it to see what's happening and what is there. If I add, for instance, blue border, and you can see, yeah, something like that. So I want more space between this. So what I can do actually, I can add a left margin, left, maybe I can add about 25 pixel, or maybe just margin in all direction. I can add 10 pixel. I think that would be good, a kind of, yeah. So, but as you can see, this become also too big. I can limit that, maybe 3 pixel for top and the bottom and 10 pixel in a horizontal direction. Yeah, so something like this. and you don't need anymore the border, and it should look like now this. Whenever you add some space, it feels good, as you can see, yeah? Now this is what we have. Let's see what we have so far. Now the purpose, one of the reasons we start creating this is actually to see a position static. Okay, not actually static, position fixed, sorry for that. What does that mean? Now, as you can see, the header is actually moving up and bottom, yeah? So we can actually fix that. How can we fix it? Let's see. Header, if we say position fixed, and let's see now. Obviously, it's fixed, but after you change it to fixed, you should also change the weights to 100%. Yeah, have you seen now? But the problem is some part of the website is now covered. How do we fix that? So I have to fix that. And then there should be, okay, I have to show you what the skeleton looks like by going. Now, if you see, we have the header here. We have the header here. And we have the main here. And we have the footer. So some part of the main section has been covered. So we have to have a header bottom or a main top margin, and that can fix. Let's see. Margin, so I have to specifically margin bottom. Maybe I have to do a kind of, let's see, 150 pixel. That's the margin bottom. Okay, let me maybe apply to the main. We didn't have main yet, main. If I margin top, as you can see, no, this is not what we want, as you can see. It's behaving a bit, but what we want is actually this to be at the top all the time. So now, let's give this top. Actually, so we have to just apply only here. Top 0. Yeah, have you seen now? I fixed it at the top. And now we can, if you have more content, you can just scroll top and let's add more content and let's see how it looks like. Because now we don't have much content. For instance, section, another section, and we have H1, and we can say this most used technologies, web technologies. I'm about just creating a fake article here, article, and then P, Lauren, Epson. How many times I want to create a big one? 50 times. It's really big content now. As you can see now, you can scroll all the way down. Yes, so this is actually a fixed. But have you seen something, guys? This is getting on top of your navigation. Yeah, so this is not good. So what you should do, give it an index. So we can give it a big index, Z index for this, just bigger than for any, we don't have 100, just let's give it 100. So now, as you can see, everything goes underneath. Great, now we covered actually fixed, and the header is actually fixed, as you can see, but the amount of the top, this is really too much. Let's reduce the margin top of the main. So where do we go? If you remember, margin top 150, I think 50 pixel might be enough. It's not enough, just then let's go for 150. And that's not even enough then, because the header is a big, so about 100 could be pretty good. Yes. That's the importance of a fixed. And now we may see static. And let's see static, not static, actually sticky. I just sticky CSS. I may take you to W3 School. That's actually easy. There's already an example. Sticky position. No. Sticky position CSS. Why is it going? Because I have seen already very good example there. So have you seen this? Now it's here. I'm sticky. It's here. You can, when you scroll it, go up, but when it reaches here, it doesn't go, it just sticks there. That's how it works. And you should say position, actually position sticky, and top 0, that means when it's there, it just stick and it doesn't go down. If you change this bottom 0, bottom 0, and if you run it, it may not work the same, but when you do this, because actually the content, let's see, bottom 0. Okay, let's try it on our code. Yeah, this is what we have, right? Let's go to the main, and we can apply some content. Okay, let's apply, for instance, something inside here, one div, and let's call the name also class sticky div. I am sticky div. So yeah, we didn't apply, it says I am sticky div. But so now let's apply the CSS. So to apply CSS, let's go all the way down. What's the name? Sticky div, I think. Sticky div and position dot sticky. By saying sticky, it doesn't change anything. But we should also say position, for instance, could be, no, actually, what is this, top, it should be 0, for instance, here. But the problem here, the header has high index. So now let me just change the index or more value for this index 101, and let's see if it works that way. Okay, maybe I think that's, I was expecting that to be at the top. Let's and even let me just comment out maybe the header for some time. Because now, as you can see, we have a couple of quite a lot of divs, so it could be difficult to implement there. But I think a good demo will be, and a use case, I would say, this is a very good example. So the most important feature of this, it sticks somewhere. If it's, for instance, something you want to stick at the bottom, it will stick all the time at the bottom. So it's a kind of feature you want to stick and to be seen. This kind of features, usually they, for instance, some advertisement, yeah, some promotion, they just stick there, you scroll, but stick there, and you have to click on it to remove the sticky button, you see it. So that is, sometimes you may need to implement that, and you will use the sticky property, yeah, but it's, you rarely implement that. So to implement that, what you should see, use position sticky, but this might not be supported by every browser, so you should have this WebKit. As you can see, it was mentioned 2 times. The reason why is actually it's for browser compatibility, okay? So this is for Chrome and for Firefox and for other browsers, you need this. And how do you get that? Actually, this is a auto prefixer. It changes everything for you. Just you write, for instance, I can just take all my code here and put it here. And then I apply, did it add, yeah, have you seen web box sizing? It added for me some additional features. Have you seen here also? Yeah, the reason why it didn't work for me also, maybe I think we should add this, because yeah, it didn't work. But anyway, it's important. It's important to have this when you deploy it. So this is for browser compatibility. So people will have what is this? They experience the same feeling or the same experience on different browsers. So what you should do, bring your code, put it here, apply, and then select the result and get it back here. Yeah, then that CSS is actually browser compatible. So you don't have to work much. You copy it here. Maybe I have to share with you. There's an important link, and it's HTML. Okay. So now let's move on to adding this. The sticky didn't work much, but it's not very mandatory. And let's just remove that part. And let's continue to the other part. Oh, okay. So I think positioning is, those are the different positioning. Now let's work on the main section area. As you can see, there is no space. In the main section, you may need some kind of, padding or some margin. So let's apply some CSS. Maybe you want the main to have some margin, margin in all direction, maybe a kind of, there's already, I have margin top, at least the margin. So if the margin top is already 250, then I can make use of this. So margin 200, and in the left, I want 100 pixel. And in the bottom, I want a 50 pixel. And in the left, I need 100 pixel. So this make it look something like this. As you can see now, I may need a kind of, for everything, like line height. Line height, we can give percentage. About 160% is actually very good. It's almost like 1.5 in Word or something. So let's see this. 160. From 140 to 170 something. It's a very good. Yeah, have you seen now? It looks somehow okay, right? Yeah. But as you can see, this section is really too big a section. So let's divide the section there. And because it's really too big for a one section, and we can divide the section into two sections. Oh, never ending. Okay, copy. And I have to really remove some of the part, and it will get smaller, and maybe just keep removing and just get smaller. Yes. Yeah, it was big. Maybe this is shorter, and then we can duplicate that part, and it looks and feels like we have different sections, right? Now, as you see, we have this section and we have this section. But as you can see, there is no separation between the sections. It's just they're together. So let's apply some style for the section, yeah? Then section, we may add some margin actually. Margin, I think I prefer adding just about 20 pixel top and bottom, and the horizontal, or it will be just auto. As you can see now, it looks there is some partition, yeah? Yes, so we've been adding also this one for H1, so it has been H1. We can apply for H1 some kind of margin again, I think about 15 pixel, and auto would be very good. And now I think that would be too much. And then I think we have to reduce that to maybe 5 pixel, okay, for text. Yeah, have you seen now? It's just getting somehow better. Yeah, something, if you remember last time, we made a nav navigation. So I want to bring that navigation from the previous lesson. If you go one of the documents, and if you go all the way down, you get the navigation, right? Where? Here. actually. Then I can just copy, maybe even I can just copy the footer from the previous, you know, why not? It's okay. Once you make a code and then you can reuse, you don't have to create all over again. So I can just make use of the footer I had here. And actually now when I'm copying, I want to also get the, if you remember the font awesome, yeah, the font awesome link, I have to also take this, the font awesome link. This font awesome, and even I want to take also the Google fonts. So I want to take all this together. Okay, then apply to almost to all the pages starting from the index. But let's first see what it will happen, and then if it works, we will. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, there is icons, and we have this button too also to push it up a word. Yeah, so now since we wrote also for the footer for this, let's take the CSS we just wrote some time ago. As you can see, if you go here and CSS, and what you should look for is actually something related to the footer. Yeah, no. Yeah, I have, as you can see, this is not, it doesn't have anything, but I think this is something related to the footer. So I can take this code. Yes. And if you have been watching the video, then now you know what I'm doing, yeah? Because it's taken from the previous, and now it seems that it's okay, but still we didn't have a very proper color, and we will apply that later. Yes. As you can see now, we have this and this, but how, because you don't like your footer to be, to hang like this, yeah? Here it's okay, but have you seen here? It's hanging, it's hanging. Let's stop that. Actually, the way we stop that is actually, I will show you. We have to have an HTML. We can select HTML, and the height should be all the time minimum height. Actually, the minimum height should be all the time 100%. And let's see now. Nothing happened, right? Okay. And also the body height. The body height also, mean height. I can apply here actually, mean body, or HTML on the body, and nothing happened. Then let's see, but actually I can just prefer to put there, and minimum height here 100% too, and then relative, position relative. Then we can have the chance to put the footer all the way down. Yeah, we can write, hey, footer position absolute. And then what is this? And bottom 0. Then I think this will help us. Oh yeah, have you seen? It helped us actually. It's all the way down, but still we have to work on. Yeah, so we have to make this the footer width 100%. Width 100%, then it will be somehow, oh, good. As you can see now, I have that, but still here, something is covered. Something is not good here. We will fix that. It's okay here. It's okay in here. It's okay in here. But in the main page, something is not good. So we have to put the margin of the main margin 200 pixel. This is top, and this is right, this bottom. So let's put this also about 150, and then still something has been hidden. We can increase this by 250, and I hope that will help. As you can see, now nothing is covered. Yes. Yep. Now it looks like something, but as you can see, we don't have the, so we have to copy and paste all the nav bar, I mean the footers. So we should do both this link, this the font awesome and the Google. Okay, now I have this. I can put it here, and then I can put it here. I can put it also for the projects, right? Yeah, it's just copy and paste. It's not a big deal. And you will copy and paste the same thing also when you watch the video. So now we have to duplicate the footer to all the pages, and we have to go all the way down. This tiny sad footer will be replaced by a better footer, okay? Okay, then again, we can do this, we can do better, and I think the projects, and that will be the end for the footer part. Then you may have, yeah, so it's getting better. Now, as you can see, we fetch this, we have the font, the different font, Railway and different. So we can apply different font. Yeah, we can apply in the head, and that will be applied everywhere. So font family, for instance, sometimes Railway is good for me. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, it's getting better, right? But for Railway, as you can see, it's a bit kind of like very dark. Maybe we may change the font weight. The font weight could be about 400, could be good enough. Yeah, this is one option, but maybe let's see Roboto or Lato. Let's see. Something like that. Maybe if that's too much, you can change also the font weight. The font weight should be most of the time 400. So you have the right to change, as you can see. Maybe you can do this a type like you can change Lato or Nonito. Right. Yeah, that's Nonito actually. Yes, so you can have quite a lot of them. As you can see, we have quite a lot of options. If you see Inconsolata, Franco is +1, Alderic, and Lato, Meriwether, Montserrat, and Nunito, and Poppins, and Rosa. Oh yeah, different. Last time we copied, if you remember. And yeah, you can choose from that. For instance, let's see Meriwether. I think it looks good. So, or Montserrat. Montserrat Montserrat's actually decent, and as you can see here, it's really close. I want to add spacing again. Their margin. Actually, here now I may add margin top 30 pixel, and auto again. Now it's good to have a wide space. Then since I am adding here, this getting, so I have to add for that, then we have to add about 130 pixels. Yes. Yeah, it looks like this, and it's all about adding more content over here. Maybe if you want to add on this different, for instance, for GitHub, for LinkedIn, different colors, we can add. I think it's better to change it now. GitHub hexa, git logo color hexa or RGB. So let's see here. I think, oh, I didn't like this. It doesn't look like the GitHub thing, but you can just get different color scheme. Really? Is it how it looks like? Oh, okay. But it doesn't. A Git, okay, I should have a GitHub. Then let's see. Yeah, this is GitHub. So I can go. And what is the name for a GitHub? If you see, the name is, this one is the name, FA GitHub Square. So we have to select that. Then we have to come here, .fa GitHub Square, and then color. Undo this. Then by now it should be black. Have you seen? And then LinkedIn, actually this will help us if we change this line to LinkedIn. Maybe it may, oh yeah, it give us. And so we have to also see what the LinkedIn looks like. FB, FA LinkedIn. FB, FA LinkedIn. I think, let me check. If it's not FA LinkedIn, actually FA LinkedIn. So we don't need that. Then we may add for a Twitter. Do we have a Twitter page? If we have, yeah, for a Twitter too, just to, if we change this part, instead of searching somewhere else, we can just Twitter. This website is just giving us a great, yeah. And then let's see also how the class name for a Twitter looks like. FA Twitter Square, FA.FA Twitter, and then Square, and the color, yes. Then let's see how it looks like. Now it looks good, right? Much better. If you want to be bigger, so we selected somewhere at some point. I thought it's I select all of them. You can change it to maybe 48 and it will be a big icon. So the icons are bigger now. Yeah, so it looks like this. Today we cover quite a wide topic and we refactor the code. Can we deploy this? Yes, it's possible to deploy it on GitHub and you can have URL for that. For instance, if I were you, I can add different projects here, the HTML project you did, the CSS projects you did, and the projects that you are going to do next time. Yeah, that would be good. So I think let's close today's lesson here. Yeah, thank you so much.